Hi guys, how are we all? So I've got Bear with me today and he's been a little bit of a fuss bum. So just ignore him if he does tend to make some little noises. So today's quite a little bit of a personal one. I've come on here today just to talk a little bit about what I've been up to the past couple of weeks. I know a lot of you have noticed that I haven't been in clinic and I haven't been working the past couple of weeks doing treatments. So I just thought to come on and explain about something that I've literally been up to over the past couple of weeks. He's growling, sorry. Look who's this. Say hello. Say hello. Kisses. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, sorry guys. So I'm gonna see if he's gonna have a little run about. Go on. Good boy. Yeah, so we might hear some little cries. So yeah guys, so the past couple of weeks I've been off due to having a little bit of cosmetic surgery. Now I know there's some people out there who think you know, it's not for everyone. It's something that's been a personal choice of mine. I've wanted to do this for quite a while now. It's been on my mind for, I'd say, around about the past 5 years. So it is something that I really wanted to do. And then with the wedding being cancelled the past year, I decided to just go ahead and do it. So there is quite a few factors and reasons why I have gone ahead and got what I've got done. And it was quite perfect timing for me as well. I had a lot to take into consideration, and the reason why I'm doing this video today is purely because there's a video that I'm doing next week that I want to go into depth and explain a lot about it. I want to make you aware of certain situations, of certain things. It's one of the reasons behind the reason that I actually went ahead and got my cosmetic surgery. But it is a massive thing that I want to talk about next week, and it is very important that I think people should be made aware of this reason really. But today I just want to talk you through my process. You might find it boring, you might find that it helps you if you were thinking about going to get something done, or you know, my reasons might make you think, oh, do you know what, yeah, I'm going to do that, or no, I don't want to do that. But I'm just going to go through and talk to you a little bit about, you know, what I have had done and why I've had it done as well, and the whole process and the whole healing process. I'm on week 2 now, so I can only tell you about the past couple of weeks. However, I can do a follow-up video just telling you how things progress over time as well. So yeah. So yeah, just to take you back to the beginning, around February this year, I had a consultation with a surgeon in Manchester. I had been passed his details by quite a few people, to be honest, and I'd done quite a lot of research before I went. So I had face-to-face consultation in Feb. I think I had another one at the beginning of March, just before obviously all COVID happened and we went into lockdown. I still hadn't made my mind up whether I wanted to do this yet either. But during, just pop him down. But then during COVID, while we were off and things, obviously the wedding got cancelled, so that got pushed back a full 12 months. And then I was thinking about it so much whilst we were off as well. So I done another face-to-face consultation with him, and then I had a consultation where I went in again to see him, and this was around, I'd say, the beginning of July. Now, before I went in for my consultation around the beginning of July, I realised something that I had to double check with before I went in for my treatment, or I went in and booked anything. So the treatment that I was wanting to have, or what I have had, I wanted to, I've always had very large chest for my size. So when I've fluctuated with weight over the years, I've had a little bit of excess skin as well. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go a little bit smaller and a little bit tighter as well with my boobs. Sorry guys, I had to sort the dog out then and I lost my words, they all jumbled up. So you're probably wondering, why the hell is she telling me a video of her process of her getting her boobs done? We don't care. This video is not mainly about like me getting my boobs done or anything like that. It is just to be a little bit of an eye-opener for the video that I'm going to talk about next week. And let's be honest, I tell you everything anyway, so I might as well come on here and tell you about it, because if you're going to be my client and come in and get a facial, 9 times out of 10 you're going to leave and you're going to know about what I had for my tea last night. So I might as well just come on and explain, and you know, maybe it might make things a little bit less scary for someone who's about to go in and get something done, or they've been thinking about something for ages and they want to go in and get it done. So it might just help you a little bit. I had certain clients and things like that along the way that really helped me and give me the push to get it done. But like I said, what I want to talk about next week, it's so important to me, and it's so important to all you to understand the facts of it and the truth behind it. So yeah, anyway, it was me timing the end of June to go in and have another consultation. But a week before I went in, I remembered something, and I think I kind of had a choice then what I had to do. So I remembered that we lost my mum about 4.5 years ago to a certain type of cancer. Now that cancer we found out is a genetic cancer, so it's a gene. It's called a BRCA1 gene, so that is breast and ovarian and prostate cancer as well. So it's not just females that it can pass down in genetics, it can also pass down to males as well. So this is a lot that I'm going to talk about next week, because when I found out the whole facts about the genes and what would happen if there is a chance that you've got the gene and things like that, it absolutely blew my mind that we are not taught these things. It blew my mind that I am one of 3 girls, and it blew my mind that the minute my mum found out that she had that gene, I can't believe there wasn't doctors then who would contact me and my sisters and tell me, listen guys, these are the options, these are the things that can happen, these are the things that can't happen. When I got told all this information, I was like, this is just crazy. So that is what I want to talk to you about next time on the next video, because I think it's very important for people to know this, and I think it should be told and it should be passed on. Especially like me, I'm quite a let's deal with it when we've got it now, let's sort it out kind of thing. I want to know all my options. Some people don't. So obviously it might not be for you to watch it, but it does need to be put out there. So anyway, back to what I was going on about. So we knew that my mum had this kind of gene, and the way that the genes work, obviously we all know you get 1 gene from your mum, 1 gene from your dad. And each individual person has 2 genes of the same type, because they've got 1 from their mum and 1 from their dad, which would make up their 2 genes in their body. So I and my sisters both have a 50-50% chance of getting that gene from my mum. And I knew that would affect me with breast cancer and ovarian cancer as well. So when I thought about, when I remembered this before I was going in for me consultation, I realised that there might be certain things that I would have to do, like get all my breast tissue out and get all that reduced if there was a chance that I did have it. So it would be absolutely pointless, obviously, me going in for this cosmetic purpose when maybe there was a chance that I had to go in for a different other reason. It would be a total waste of money, total waste of the surgeon's time, and I'd just be putting myself through stress for an unnecessary reason. So a week before, I rang up and I had a consultation with the genetics in the women's hospital, and I spoke to them about what could happen if you do have the gene, you know, preparing you for the things in life. And then I decided to go ahead and get the genetics test. When we first found out about 4.5 years ago that, you know, there was a chance that we could have the gene, me and my sisters all decided together, no, we're not even going to think about it until we've had kids. It's not something we want to think about. As I've got older, I was 22 at the time, I'm now 27, it was 5 years ago actually, I'm now 27, turning 28. The older I've got, the more I am quite a realist. I do want to know. I want to know, like, is the things that I can prevent in life, is the things that I can do, how can we work in it? I like to know all the facts and all the information. So I decided to go and get the genes test and get that checked out to see whether I had that, especially before I was about to pay a lot of money to go and get a cosmetic procedure. However, I still went in a week later. Genetics test, it was a blood test, so it takes around 4 to 6 weeks for you to get your results back. So I still went in to see my doctor, the surgeon, a week later. But whilst I went in for the consultation, the face-to-face one, this was the first face-to-face allowed on, by the way guys, after COVID. So it was all safe, everyone wore masks, gloves, etc. when I went in for this consultation, I kind of felt a little bit bad that I probably didn't ring them and tell them, you know, there might be a chance that I might not go ahead and have surgery because X, Y, and Z, and these are my reasons. However, when I went in, we started our consultation, and if anything, we had more than a full hour of a consultation, because I sat there at the beginning and I did explain to him my situation. I said, you know, if it turns out I've got the gene, I'm not going to go ahead and get the procedure. If it turns out that I haven't got the gene, I'm definitely going to go ahead and get it. It is something that I still want to get done. And he was so kind and lovely, and he could have just fobbed me off and sent me home and said to me, do you know what, we'll just wait to see whether we find out whether you've actually got the gene or not before I carry on with these consultations, because basically I could just be wasting his time. But he actually sat down with me and he explained a little bit about, you know, what I could have, and he also explained to me, you know, I know that there is certain things that you can do, and he said, I know, you know, I've got friends who work for the NHS and they do amazing things, and they will do these things that you need to go and get done, and they will help you out, and, you know, ring me if you've got it and I'll help you, and we'll do this and we'll do that. And I think like it sold it for me there and then, really, because I kind of thought, you know what, he's interested in my health more than anything, and that is a good surgeon. A good surgeon is someone who cares about your health more than the cosmetic part of anything. They want you to be healthy. So I was really pleased with that. So I left there, and then it was just kind of a waiting game. I think I had another like 3 or 4 weeks until I found out whether I had the gene or not. So yeah, it was just a case of sitting back and waiting and seeing when I would get that phone call. So I got the phone call when I was in work. Actually, I was doing a client. I knew I was getting the phone call, and I do it to myself all the time. I'd rather just go straight to work if I found out negative news, and that's just how I deal with things. But I had a regular in actually, and the minute she left, the minute my phone rang. So I was quite calm about finding out my results. I really wanted to know. I had a plan A and I had a plan B. It didn't matter what the outcome was. Obviously, we were hoping that it was the best one, but I had plan A and I had plan B. I just needed to know what plan that we were going with. But I got a phone call up when I was at work, and thankfully I didn't get the gene, which I'm so happy about. So yeah, it was a 50-50% chance. It's like a toss of a coin, heads or tails. And I didn't get the gene. So as soon as I put that phone down, I rang the surgeon straight away and was like, book me in. I am terrified of absolutely everything. My friends will tell you, I can't even go and get a bit of Botox without panicking or freaking out on the bed. I can do anything to anyone, but when it comes down to me, I am the world's worst panicker. I literally am such a panicker. So the fact that, like, I think finding out that results, I think the feeling that it gave me as soon as I found out that, like, I didn't have this gene, I think I just heard my mum's voice in my head just going, why not? Just go and do it. Go and do what you want. If you want something done, go and do it. So I rang them up straight away, and I booked in, and I booked the very first appointment they had for 8 weeks' time, and I had that booked in. Now, don't get me wrong, I'd say about the first 5 weeks, I was like this every night. Am I doing the right thing? I don't know whether I want to do this, because I was so scared to go under. I was so like nervous. I was like, oh my god, what if I go to sleep and never wake up? I was thinking all of these crazy things, and because you know, I literally talk to anyone about anything. I was going to Jordan, I'm not telling anyone that I'm going to go in and get this done. No one's going to know. I'm like, no one will know anyway. It won't make a difference. They won't notice it. But I obviously, every single client that came through the door, I told them that I was getting it done, and I'm so glad I did, because the more people that came in and was talking to me, 9 times out of 10, they'd all had something done themselves, and it just made me feel so much more safer. You know, you'd be completely fine. I've had this done. This is what happened to me, and it did make me realise that it is so much more common than we actually think, especially like in our area, that girls go and get things done. And you know what? Why not? If you want something done, go and do it. I had a client in who, she's the nurse that comes round and fills out all your forms with you, goes through your whole process with you. She's one of my regulars, and she literally calms me down so much. She's that woman you talk to before you go in and get your anaesthetic and get put to sleep. She was just unbelievable. She even texted me like the night before. She was like, ring me if you need me the next day. And that just, the things she was telling me just made me feel so calm. You know, you've got more chance of crashing on a plane and dying than you have anything happening to you when you go sleep and you go under. But back to the process of how everything went, from the minute that I realised that I was calm about it a couple of weeks before, I got myself in a really good headspace. I was so calm. You couldn't have anyone with you because of coronavirus. So I literally had to walk, from the minute I walked into the hospital doors, I was on my own. Apart from being with the doctors, I was by myself. Couldn't have John with me, I couldn't have anyone else with me. Even when he was drawing me on, like mapping what he was going to do and talking to me, usually at this point, when I'm getting mapped for it, if I ever get Botox, I'm like this on the bed, shaking like crazy. I was so calm. I was literally so calm. I think it's because I trusted them so much. Your life is literally in their hands. I trusted them with my life, literally trusted them with my life. And I think I had 30 seconds of when I had to walk through and get on the bed to have the anaesthetic where I was like, oh God, I'm a little bit nervous. And the next thing I know, he said, where do you want to be on holiday? And I said the Maldives, not that I've been by the way. But I said the Maldives, and then the next thing I was awake on the bed, and that was it. Here it was with my new boobs. So the drugs were amazing. I had no pain whatsoever. I was on paracetamol drip the following day. I stayed overnight in the hospital because my appointment was around 12 o'clock, and I think it came out at about 3:30 by the time he prepped and everything like that. So yeah, I think it came out at about 3:30, and then I stayed that night. I was a bit drowsy for a few hours, obviously because of the drugs, and I wasn't in no pain whatsoever, and I wasn't uncomfortable. I just couldn't sleep in the hospital all night. I don't think I even had 20 minutes, purely because I'm not comfortable unless I'm like in my own bed, or you know, if I've been somewhere for a few nights and I'm used to somewhere. So the next day when I came home on the Friday, he did come and see me in the morning and check me over and everything, give me a course of antibiotics, some cocodamol to take, and just went through everything that I needed to go through, and arnica tablets as well, and just all the basic stuff that I needed to do. So when I went home on the Friday, because I'd had no sleep on the Thursday night, I was a bit shaky and I was just like shattered, and I think I just slept like literally most of that day. But that was just due to lack of sleep. I knew it was. I knew my body was just overtired. I felt like I'd been at Glastonbury for like 5 weeks, and then I came home. That's how like wrote off I felt. I was just shattered, that's all. I think I slept most of the weekend. And you're strapped in with tapes when you get when it's not an implant and it's your own boobs, and they're kind of like lifting your own and making it smaller and making everywhere tight, so they're like ripping your muscle apart. So you're just strapped in with like a form of tape. So I kept feeling like a bit breathless when I'd only walk the toilet, and then I'd come back and I think, oh, God, I need to lie down, and that is not me. Usually I am like, I couldn't deal with it. I'm usually on the go all the time. So I would say I kind of started to feeling back to normal, like a bit more energy wise around day 5, and then I think around day 10 when I went in for my checkup, I felt a lot better, a lot better. It's day 15 today and I feel completely back to normal now. So when your doctors tell you to take the time off work and rest, take the time off work and rest. Believe me, I am always on the go. I love being on the go. I hate sitting still. I absolutely hate it. But you need to make sure that you're having that rest. I couldn't recommend the surgeon enough who I went to. Like I said, I felt like I could just trust him so much. He was just unbelievable, and what he's done is amazing. I'm so happy. They're my own boobs still. They're a little bit smaller. I did have a little bit of the booby blues, as because they've been made a little bit smaller. Obviously they're all swollen at first, but they've settled a little bit now, and I'm used to having what feels like much bigger boobs. But I do also just think it's because you can't wear a padded bra or anything like that, so I do feel like my boobs are a little bit smaller, but that's what I wanted, and I'm really happy. I think if I wouldn't have told you this, and you'd seen a bikini picture of me last year, and you see a bikini picture of me, well, not this year, next summer, you wouldn't even notice. But like I said, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my process because I want to talk to you loads about the genetic side and the genetic testing and everything regarding that side next week. It's just a bit of a follow-up video. But also just something else to say, guys, if you really want something done, just go and do it. Like, why not? I think I was so much more petrified to tell my dad that I was going in to get something done than I was to actually go and get the surgery done, because I'm nearly 28 years old and I am still shit scared of telling my dad things, but I can't lie to him. I have to tell him everything because I always have this fear of him finding out something that I haven't told him and him being disappointed in me. So I thought, no, some of my clients were saying to me, oh, don't tell him, he'll never know. And I was thinking, I can't go under and not tell him that I haven't had surgery. What if he calls me and he wants to come round and I've got all tape all over me? I was like, no, can't do that. I've got to tell him. I can't lie to him. I'd have to tell him anyway. He'd never notice because he'd never be looking. But I told him anyway and I was shit scared. And he literally said what I knew he was going to say. If you want something done, you go and get it done. And that was me mum and me as well. I thought, you know what? I haven't got the gene. I've got savings that are sitting in the bank. We're not getting married. I've wanted this done for years. Kids aren't on the plan for the next 3 to 5 years. So I'm just going to go and get it done. So if you want something doing, don't feel like you're going to be judged by anyone else. Go and get it done. And don't feel like you have to keep it to yourself either. My story might help you and give you that push to go and get it done. And all them girls that were sat on my bed whilst I was doing them facials, who was openly telling me their stories about their experiences, that helped me so much. So yeah, I think if you want something doing, go and get it done. I've repeated that about 10 times. But the surgeon, I can give you his details if you want me to pass it out. Usually with like people like that, I always find that, oh, you know when you get like a sleazy like car salesman, like that was my worst fear of a type of surgeon. If you were going to walk in and they were trying to like sell you, like, I don't know, like when you go to a car sales place and like they're all sleazy and they're trying to like sell you cars and you feel like, oh God, I want to leave, or you want to bring someone with you. I always felt like surgeons would be a little bit like that. And I don't know whether they are like within other companies, and I have heard some stories about what my clients were telling me about theirs. This one, like, he wouldn't force you into anything. He always tells you to go and look elsewhere, go and get some other prices, go and get some other opinions, look wherever else you need to look. But I don't think I would trust anyone so much more, and I don't think I would have been as calm as I was when I was going in if I had anyone else. He was absolutely unbelievable. I don't think they use Instagram that much, to be honest. So I will pop his details below on the video if you want to go there. This isn't like any kind of ad or anything. I just think credit is worth giving when credit is due, because he's done an absolutely unbelievable job for me, and I'm very, very grateful. But yeah, the reason why this video is up on YouTube is just because it's a little bit longer of a video, and I just wanted to pop it on here because I'm sure the one that I'm going to tell you about next week is going to be extremely long. It's very important to watch it, so if you can watch it, please give it a watch. If you have any questions and you want to ask me anything, I don't know whether you'll want to, about my experience, just send me a little message and I will be sure to get back to you. I know this isn't skin related whatsoever, but I do tend to tell you it's like 99% of my personal stuff of what goes on in my life, so I thought I'd just share this with you guys as well. And the one last thing that I want to add is I was in Wilmslow Hospital, and I've never stayed, I've never, touch wood, been in hospital. So like normal hospitals freak me out so much. So when I went to this one, obviously it's a private hospital, but wow, the staff were unbelievable. I felt so comfortable, couldn't do enough for me. Literally would wait on your hands and foot, even to the point where, you know, you can't go to the toilet by yourself for a week when you want to get up and things because you're dizzy, you can't lift things up, you can't press things with your chest. You are so, you don't realise how restricted you are with this area, with things that you're doing. So yeah, the hospital was unbelievable as well. But thank you all for watching. Hope to give you some insight into getting some surgery done. And it's major. Do the things that you want to do. Half of you are probably going to judge me and say, why are you spending all this money in the middle of a pandemic? But you know what? I had savings in the bank and I'm not getting married this year. So I wanted to go and get it done, so I went and got it done. I had some good news that I didn't have the gene, something that I've wanted to do for ages, and I think more of us should just be open about this stuff so that it makes less of us feel ashamed or embarrassed about things that we've had done or things that we want to get done. So hope you all have a gorgeous day. Hope I haven't rambled on for the past 20 minutes to you, but yeah, have an absolutely gorgeous day, gang.